virgin us. But she's from Nicaragua, thought you was Persian love. Are we turning up or are we wasting time? Girl, don't waste my time, no party. I don't just wanna chill with you. Oh.
Alright, you guys, so here is the finished look. It's giving Puerto Rican princess. So my photo shoot got pushed back 1 hour, so that gives me another hour to prepare because I already was rushing. And I got on this big t-shirt so I don't mess up my clothes. But y'all, look at the details. I really wanted to put some rhinestones under my eyes, so that's what I did. And the hair is giving, period. Yes, let's get this photo shoot going. All right, so in a little bit I'm about to go grab the balloons, and then it's gonna be time to get ready to head to the studio. So y'all, I made a whole video introducing like the introduction. So hello Fit Chicks and Fit Beauties, but I accidentally deleted it. Disregard. But yeah, let's get into it. I'm so excited. At first I was feeling like poo, but now I'm feeling like woo, you know. So yeah, let's get into it, baby.
God showed you would actually come to pass. I made a decision a long time ago. If God said it, I'll believe it. If I believe it, I'ma say it. If I say it and it doesn't come to pass, I can point back to him. What do I lose? Why am I scared? If God said it, I'ma believe it, and I'ma say it, and if it don't happen, I guess God wanted to do something different. I guess God had a different plan. I guess God is sovereign, but that don't stop me from believing. And what happens so many times is like God said it and it didn't happen, and I said it and I'm so embarrassed and I don't know if I can believe God again, and I don't know if he's going to do what he said he's going to do. And I'm saying like, what? If it didn't happen how you thought it was for your good. Wow, yeah, that's great. If it did not happen how you thought it was going to happen, it is still for your good. We praise him all the time for what he does. We don't praise him all the time for what he didn't do, that we don't know what would have happened if he would allow it. Somebody needs to take 5 seconds right there and give God a praise for what you didn't know. No, y'all acting too cute right now. But in the chat, I dare you to praise God for the things that he didn't allow to work out, that your feelings got hurt, but it was still for your good.
Hey hunties, so the other day my sister and I were browsing Carvana's inventory. Thank you to Carvana.
I dare you to say it. I dare you to tell your husband where y'all will be next year. Wow. Come on. Yeah. Bonus point. Vision always makes you vulnerable. When I stood up here and I said on the first day of us being a church in the transition that we will be a multi-ethnic, multi-generational, multiplying, multi-campus church, I was vulnerable because we were none of those things. It felt like I was standing up there bucket naked. Y'all know that bucket naked? Just exposed. And let me help you. That's what true vision makes you feel like. Do you know how Noah must have felt to just tell his wife, I'm about to spend the next couple decades. Now, I know what I said about vacation next summer, but I got a vision from God. And so I'm going to be spending, honestly, I need our sons and their wives, and matter of fact, everybody y'all birthed. I need everybody to help me. Because somebody going to have to go rile up the animals. And then somebody going to have to help me with this wood. And somebody's going to, like, do you imagine how vulnerable it must have been for Abraham to walk back to Sarah and say, hey baby, no, here are your readers. Here you go. No, let me get your catheter right. Okay, here you go, baby. Cause she was old. She was dusty. Baby, hold on, let me move your wheelchair. Okay, let me tell you what God told me. He gave me a vision and he said, look up into the stars and number them if you can. That's how many descendants I'm gonna give you. So I just came to tell you, I'm gonna put it down and you're gonna get pregnant. Do you know how vulnerable it must have felt? I just need everybody to see this. When God gives you a real vision, if you don't feel vulnerable just a little bit, it might be invalid. Where your marriage is, and I just keep coming back to this because I just feel like somebody's marriage is on the rocks right now. Where your marriage is, it would be for you to say, my marriage is going to succeed and I'm going to enjoy being in this home. Supposed to be, and what city you're supposed to be in, and how you're supposed to do. Get God's view on it, and then come down here with diligence. See, right here is where we try to forget what we saw. This is where the enemy tries to make us feel like there's no way this is going to happen. And that's why God tells us, write the vision down. Write what you see up here. Write down what you see so when you get down there, you don't forget that God showed me this. He showed me that our church would impact the world. He showed me that my family and my marriage is going to be right. He showed me. And that's why, I got it written down. And I made it plain. So now when I come down here, I'm not going to be distracted by the ignorance that comes from different people because I got God's view on it. See, some of y'all, it's not your career that's the problem. Here it is. It's your family. Yeah. Your family is the thing that you need God's view on. What are you saying? The vision is valuable. Go to God in prayer. God, for the next 14 days, all I'm going to do is cry out to you and ask you for vision. Show me my marriage healed. Show me my daughter not running from boy to boy to fulfill the void of her daddy not being here. Show me, Father God. Come on, you can pray real prayers. Remember, God wants you to pray in your personality. God, show me my family being able to bless other families. God, give me a vision. And when he gives you the vision, write it down. Say it out loud. Be vocal about it. God told me that my family was going to be able to impact the earth. My dad always told us from a young age, he said, Michael, the toddler name is going to leave a legacy on the earth. He said, y'all, this name has weight on it. This name, and when we were believing God for groceries, when we were believing God, when they stepped out in ministry full time and my dad left State Farm and they...
It wasn't right for my daughter to be pregnant. I'm a bishop seen all over the country. It's not right for us to have a private moment in a public place. It's not right that my mother, who was the smartest person I have ever seen in my life, would gradually have her mind peeled back like an onion until she couldn't tell a banana from an orange. It's not right. Sometimes it is necessary in order to cultivate in the vineyard. You have to disrupt the soil. You have to turn it over. You have to disrupt everything around it. You have to pull some weeds sometimes. You got to uproot some plants. You have to cause this evil in order to get where you want to go. And it's messy and it's dirty and it's not right. But it's necessary. And we feel pain. And sometimes it's pain we don't even have anybody to talk to about. Private, secret pain, pain locked up behind your lips, pain behind your makeup, pain behind your nice clothes. Sometimes you dress up to hide so nobody can see how deep down inside you're hurting. Intimacy is intimacy, and yet nobody sees into me. And so I paint this face of who you think I am and smile the way you want me to smile, and I perform for you, and that's the only reason I get tired of you. Because I yearn to take the mask off and be who I really am and say I am confused and I am hurting and I am suffering, and this crushing feels like death. The death of my ideas is the birthing place of his purpose. God works is sadistic, not because we are masochistic. It pleases him to bruise us because he knows that the end result will put us in a state where we can no longer ferment, where we can handle a setback, a disappointment, where we can handle a hurt. See, wine doesn't spoil. It'll last for years and years and years in the dark, in the basement, in the cellar, because it's been through enough crushing to endure time. And you can tell when a person has been crushed because they are survivors. People who have been crushed are survivors. When my church emptied out and we were going through COVID and I had to preach in an empty building by myself, it was no problem because I started preaching in an empty building. And I don't need people in order to do what God called me to do. I don't need applause. I don't need clapping. I don't need shouting. I don't need dancing. I don't need an organ. All I need is what's in me. If God is inside of you, all crushing will do is push him out. And might I had this final remark, if Satan were smart, he would never push. If he's able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we may ask or think, that means we have no idea what he's making when he's making us. And the seed doesn't know what the vintner is doing. He just has to trust him. Constricted into his methods. Imprisoned by his purpose. Locked up in a situation where you just have to trust him. I didn't wake up the person you see today. Not by a long shot. Nowhere close. If you would have met me at 18 and told me that I would end up being this, I would have laughed in your face. If you'd have told me at 16 that I would end up here, all of my neighbors would have laughed in your face. My classmates would have laughed in your face. I was a ratchet little boy.
There is an entire generation searching for God. They don't belong here.
They want peace and love. Isn't that the same thing you want?
This is your home, and I want you to tell all your friends about it.
So it is for.
But I didn't know what God was making. I thought I was going to be a musician, but I didn't know what God was making. But little by little, step by step, day by day, situation by situation, he was leading me into my purpose and destiny. Not only by the doors that open, but by the doors that close. From humble beginnings. I mean, we were poor. Poor is when you cannot afford the ore. My idea of rich people were people who had grass in their yards. Rich people were people who had air conditioning, and a doorbell meant you were wealthy. Just a doorbell. I couldn't imagine having a doorbell with the chimes that ring and the little things that up down. It was amazing. I saw them on TV. What I had was a raggedy screen door that was cut down at the bottom and a sunken porch where the concrete had rotted out of the middle of it, and I had to step over to come into the house. And if you didn't fasten the screen door, it'd swing open. And that's where I came from. But I didn't know what God was making. And it was necessary that I come from there. because of the heights he would take me to, I would never have to question in myself why I do what I do. Because I did it broke. And I did it lonely. And I did it with no money. And I did it with no car. And I did it with my lights off. And I did it in the crushing. So that now, as he begins to bring me into my senior years, I can see God doing things with me that I never imagined possible. That I would be sitting across from Oprah Winfrey on her show was something I never asked for. That I would sit down with the CEO of AT&T, then Randall Stevenson, and have a discussion about equity is something that I couldn't imagine. AT&T? That I would be closing on property right next to Tyler Perry Studios? It's got grass. I mean, it's got really grass. That I would write books that were translated into multiple languages around the world. Woman in Our Loose has been translated into 12 different languages. They say it's Japanese. I can't read it, but I trust that that's what it is. It's Mandarin, and in Chinese, I can't read it, but I trust that that's what it is. That would come out of a guy who was just writing short stories in the 8th grade. I can't understand it. You don't know what God is making while you're aching. You don't know what God is making while you're aching. You don't know what God is making while you're crying. You don't know what God is making while you're lonely. You don't know what God is making while you're suffering. But I declare unto you, he is making something. You may feel dislocated. You may feel dislodged. You can't always see what the Master's doing. Only when we look back, then we see that God had a plan when all we had was pain. God had a plan. I had no idea that my daughter getting pregnant, I hated it. It hurt. It's not about embarrassment. It wasn't about image. It was my baby girl. It was about her future, about her destiny. And I thought, this is a mistake. This is wrong. This is wrong. This can't happen. This can't happen to us. And now when she stands up in the pulpit and preach, I realize that if she hadn't have gotten pregnant, she wouldn't have been the person that she became. And that going backwards is what drove her forward. And that God was smarter than I was. And he knows exactly what to take to bring you to the place that he can get out of you what he wants out of you. And he doesn't care whether you're embarrassed or not. And he doesn't care whether people talk about you or not. He doesn't care what they think about you. He only cares that he gets out of you what he put inside of you. He will take you from seed to bearing fruit. And you don't get to choose the method he uses. You don't get to pick the tool that he cuts you with. It may have been your first relationship. It may have been a rape. It may have been childhood abuse. But it shaped something in you, as horrific as it was, that made you self-reliant and able to stand. And when you got through crying about it, you woke up a tougher woman than you were a girl. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? The thing I love the most about him is that God never gives up on you. He doesn't wait till you're in the bad place and then walk out like people do. Because people are great when you're up, but when you're down, they'll run out. When you're weak, they'll run out. When you make mistakes, they'll run out. And the church is masterful at killing its wounded. It's masterful at that. We have no real method to really restore our wounded, especially when they're talented. So we shoot them for being too much like us. And there is no place to recover. But just because man is through with you does not mean that God is through with you. And I don't know who I'm talking to today, but I feel like I'm talking to somebody. Just because man has turned his back and found out something about you and said you're nobody doesn't mean that God is through with you, because whatever they found out, God already knew. Pastor Adeboye had invited me to one of the biggest meetings he does during the year. He's huge all over the world, but in Africa, it's unexplainable. And I was getting ready to go when I got a call. The phone rang. My son Jamar had a heart attack, and the doctors were trying to stabilize him. And while they were telling me about it, he'd had a second one. And the airport was shut down for the evening, and we had to pull all kind of strings to get out of there. And I never got to preach to the crowd. One, because under battle, you always have to keep your priorities straight. Don't let the seduction of the crowd or the allurement of the masses make you forget about the commitment to the few. Jamar was my son, and I had to be there. And I wondered, Lord, how in the world could this be happening? They had rushed him into surgery, and it didn't look good. And I said, this is a 20-something-year-old young man who's vibrant, healthy, in good shape, not overweight. How could this happen?
Discover the Ozempic Zone. Ask your healthcare provider about Ozempic.
We want to understand everything, but we don't. So I flew for hours and hours, and all the while I stayed awake the whole time, saying, God, spare my son. Because I don't want to know the pain of losing my child. And we want to understand why. And I got to the hospital. I came down the hall, and he's laying in the hospital bed, and he said, I hear my daddy coming. And I walked in the room. I shaved his chest. I talked to him. I tried to get him ready for this surgery they were going to do, because they had to try to figure out where this was coming from, and the first one hadn't proven it. And I wanted answers. And I learned something. You don't get answers because you want them. That God doesn't explain himself. For that matter, the doctors don't explain themselves. I would have took an answer from anybody. They weren't explaining much because they weren't sure why he had the heart attack. They couldn't give me answers. And when I prayed and asked God, why did I have to go through this? He chose to be silent. And the real issue becomes, can you trust God when he doesn't answer? Because we want...
Welcome to B Vision Studio, where magic happens. Check the aesthetic. It's given. Who your photographer? Alright, y'all. We about to get ready to shoot. And my photographer fine, baby.
Let's get into it, baby.
Let's do it. You can move that out the way, my bad. No, you do that. So I don't think I did this.
Oh, you want? I can tape it. Oh, you want to?
Let's tape it.
Okay. It's fine if we tape it.
Yeah. How long you think these balloons gonna last?
These balloons last a long time.
You could keep them then.
Baby, you probably spent about $50 on it.
77. I'm gonna take them to the balcony and I parked on the balcony so I can get some like little footage. I'm gonna take them to the balcony and I'm gonna bring these hoes right back here because if somebody turns 0, you got a 0 for them.
Not 0. Okay, 100K followers, baby. I'm trying to get like you.
Da, 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 da.
Hey, it's Fat Tuesday. Turn up. Girl, I want you to get your song.
Oh.
When I was in here on my TikTok, I said, baby, where's done there? Because, baby, when I get 2 breaths, baby.
Through drought and famine, natural disasters, baby, it's been alright for me. Kingdoms are falling, angels be calling. None of that could ever make me leave. Yeah. Every time I look into your eyes, I see it. You're all I need. Every time I get a bit inside, I feel it. Who would've thought I'd get you? Oh yeah, baby. Who would've thought I'd get you?
I'll take some time just to be thankful that I had days full of you. Before it winds down into the memories, it's all just memories now.
Don't you love when I come around? Somebody just fill you up and I take you down. Got someone tonight. Don't you love when I come around? Build you up.
Scheming on the low. The farthest thing from perfect, like everyone I know. I just been drinking on the low, mobbing on the low, walking on the low, smoking on the low. I still been plotting on the low, scheming on the low. The farthest thing from perfect, like everyone I know. I just been drinking on the low, mobbing on the low, walking on the low, smoking on the low. I still been plotting on the low, scheming on the low. The farthest thing from perfect, like everyone I know.
Alright, you guys, photo shoot is complete. Now I'm about to go eat. So the way time looking, I'm gonna go eat, and I will see if I have time to work out. But it's looking like your girl ain't gonna have time to work out today. So I'll definitely have time to work out when we get to Cabo. But until then, I need food now. So let's go eat. Alright, you guys, so I have officially made it back home, and now it's time to take this makeup off. This is the saddest part because I never want to take it off, but I'll be so ready to take it off, so I'm about to take it off. And I'm going to be using this Clinique Take the Day Off Cleansing Balm that I spent $32 on. And we're going to try it out, and we're going to see what it's giving, okay? So we're about to take this makeup off and then get ready to finish packing up everything else. Yeah, so one second. Alright, you guys, so I am all settled down, fresh face. Need to put on my mascara, y'all. I really am like this close to getting lash extensions, but I know like that's just to be another bill that I don't need. So I might chill, but I really wanna. Y'all, I did not eat or drink anything before that photo shoot, which was very deadly. So now I'm going to be catching up and hydrating. So y'all know I do my Oxy Greens every morning. Didn't get a chance to do them this morning, but it's never too late to take them. So I'm about to give me a little swig of water, and then we about to make these greens. I'm probably about to jug 1.5 gallons of water like in the next couple of hours. Alright, so we're gonna go in with our cute little glass. Let me get some water. And I know y'all probably wondering, like, you know, how do you feel? Well, even if y'all wasn't wondering how I feel, I'm finna tell y'all. So, it's been, you know, it's just been. So, y'all know I'm going in with my Oxy Greens. This is the Guava Paradise. I know I'm a fan of the passion fruit. It's been like what it's been. Like, you know, I really don't have no words to describe, but I'm just like in a place where I just want to be appreciative for the very little things and the very big things. Like, I feel like things doesn't have to be super duper big every time for me to just get overly excited. Like, I need to just start, you know, back becoming my own cheerleader, my own hype man, and just, you know, living life. Because I'm always living life like, what's next, what's next, what's next. And I feel like when you live life like what's next, you really can't appreciate the moment that we have right then and there. So that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm ready to go on vacation to kind of refresh, realign. Some of my tasks that I'm going to do on vacation is, of course, get some good content. And like make a content chart of like a monthly content of what I want to post. I don't want it to be over exaggerated. Like, I don't want it to be like super duper extra where I know like, okay, then you know you're not gonna do this. But I also want to put some pressure on myself to kind of step outside my box when it comes to my content, not just on YouTube but on Instagram as well. Y'all, this is how it looks before I mix it up. But to, you know, step outside of my box, do some stuff differently, like manifest the life that I want. Like, manifest the life that I want. And, you know, just kind of like, just doing what Dunn want to do. Like, the post that I just made on Instagram. If you do not follow me on Instagram, this is your cue to go follow me on Instagram. I could tell just by the look in my face, I'm dehydrated. I don't like feeling dehydrated. So, like, just doing whatever it is that I want to do and being unapologetic about it, you know? Because, yeah, like, what? Period. Now I'm just talking, but yeah. So, the next things on the list is to finish packing. I think I'm going to end this vlog right here. So, next thing I'm going to do is finish packing. I'm going to create that another vlog as I get to the airport vlog and all that, blase, blase. But y'all won't see that until after I come back. Because I don't need nobody knowing my location. You never know who's watching. My plan was to go work out. Time caught up to me. But I'm bringing my workout clothes because, of course, I'm going to work out on vacation. That's something that I always do. And if y'all wondering why do I take all these supplements, of course they're coming out of town with me. This is for like good health, overall immune support, getting you right and getting you tight. And then my L-glutamine is also for your gut as well. It promotes lean muscle protein synthesis and a natural human growth hormone release. I take this in the morning, and I didn't work out today, but that don't mean I'm not gonna take my Create. And I'm probably not going to take my OxyShred since it's already late. But if I do, I'll probably just take one scoop. So you could take OxyShred even if you're not working out. Like, you don't have to take it just because you're working out. Some days if I'm not working out, I like to just take it just for an overall boost. So I'm not saying I'm going to take it even though it's late, because I do still have a lot of extra stuff to do before I settle down tonight. I got to print stuff out. I got to finish packing. Make sure I have everything. I'm about to wash my makeup brushes. Just a whole bunch of blase, blase, blase. But when I get to Cabo, like I said, my goal is to reset and relax. I feel like I've been running on 10 on E since I don't know how long, y'all, to be honest. I just been running. And I think it's going to feel really good to just sit down, relax, reset, recharge. Come with a clear vision, come with a clear like mindset of what I want my business to look like. What I want my YouTube to look like, what I want my Instagram to look like, how I'm going to promote my business. Like, being an entrepreneur is hard. What you sell, how your business flourish, what you put out is all based on you. Like, you know, so I hope that one day I can get big and have a team that helps me with this type of stuff. But I've been doing it by myself for so long, I probably won't even need no team, you know. But cheers. So if you're watching this and you have not got your Oxy Greens, or you have not got your OxyShred, or you have not got your L-glutamine, or you have not got your Create, this is your sign to get your supplements. Remember, supplements are just what they're called, supplemental. Do not try to use these supplements to like substitute overall nutrition. Like, make sure you keep it up. And when I get back from vacation, the workout content is going up, up, up. My goal is to stay in the house, stay chill. I'm cooking everything. I need to save, recharge. I know I didn't say recharge, we said about 10 times, but that's exactly what I mean, y'all. So, with that being said, we're going to close out this vlog. I hope y'all enjoyed spending the day with me, even though it was a really, really short day. I got to get ready for vacation. I'm so excited to go. But, with that being said, y'all already know the drill. Come back and message your girl. Peace out.